evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. Right, today we have for you a bit of a throwback. This is, we're actually using a flaylock and Nova knives, and this is due to the fact that there is actually now an event currently going on, which is rewarding you for every knife kill that you get. And I think it's you kind of the rewards you get depend upon the level of suit that you kill with said knife. So I thought I'd give it a go. I mean, to be honest, the rewards are a bit kind of meh, but you know, you've got to try these things sometimes, don't you? And I've got to admit, what I found was actually I forgot how much fun this scout suit was. Now, again, the more observant among you will remember that I used to run scouts quite a bit, and I ran it with a flaylock. And I ran it with, at some point, knives, but, you know, kind of... let me tell you the story of what happened. Basically, when aim assist came in, it did mean that the scout suit had a general kind of problem evading. So, you know, pretty much the scout suit was always able to run past fire because, you know, before aim assist, it was very difficult to get a lot of your shots on. So that's why people use high rate of fire guns, and it was really there just to kind of get a lot of lead in the air, like a wall of lead in the air to deal with you. And I think that's kind of changed. I mean, when aim assist came in, it did obviously change the whole picture. But also now it's kind of gone the other way slightly back because aim assist has been toned down, and I think certainly this is very evident because I was just gobsmacked at how capable this scout suit was, and to be honest, I didn't feel as if anybody was auto-tracking me at all. I would even say I had a lot of fun with it, to be honest. All I'm running is a light, always get this wrong, a light complex frame. I don't run any sort of scout suit, which is probably going to bugger me over when cloaking comes in, so I'm already a bit gutted about that. I think I've got Minmatar scout to level 1, so yeah, really gutted about that. To be honest, I don't think there should be a penalty to a complex. Well, you know, fuck it, we'll go into that another time. You can't even be bothered to moan about that because we don't know what cloaks will do. All we know is that obviously scout suits apparently are going to lose a sidearm, and they're going to gain an equipment slot. So you're going to have 2 equipments on a scout, which again always made sense that you have that. Scouts are not really kind of brawling suits. They're there to obviously get shot by heavy machine gunners and run away. And so a scanner and a spawn pad, and a nano forge, revival, and a spawn pad. I mean, these are all good combos, and I think this is where it's going. I probably suspect that the cloak will just be a technology equipment slot. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? And you'll activate it when you need it, and so on. So I think that's pretty much what's going to happen with scout suits. Now, scout suits with cloaks is a very, very interesting topic. Now, I was going to kind of talk about that in this video, but I don't think I'm even going to bother speculating because the reality is that I think nobody really knows what they're going to do. In EVE, when cloaks came in, they did this through a very interesting event called the Capsuleer event. Probably pronounced that wrong, but and it was actually a storyline bit of role play. No, seriously, don't turn off yet. Where basically the CCP developers role played, again, don't turn off, a group of Gurustus pirates who attack I believe a Gallente research, was it Caldari, I forget. Anyway, they attack a research facility in mass, and they call for help, and all the capsuleers go and try and help. And back then, you know, there's very little you could do because they just spawned in like 100 battleships. And they just started picking off players one by one. So it was exciting. But as part of the process of that, nobody had ever heard of cloaks before. As part of the process of that event, the Fatal Rabbit, the leader of the Gurustus pirates, stole a prototype cloaking device. And that started the whole cloaking module coming into EVE. Now, it's interesting, really, because it was a nice little bit of lore. It'd be nice to see maybe if CCP reciprocate that with another bit of lore for Dust. Maybe this could be some prototype module. I don't know. It could be pretty cool if they did. I suspect probably they don't have time to do that, so they probably won't. But in any way, you're going to get a scout suit that it can cloak. Now, I hope this leads on to more things like vehicle cloaks. I don't even know how the mechanics of that would work. It just baffles me to even comprehend the mechanics of a tank cloak. But it could be pretty funny, and I'd love to see the trooper that gets run over by a cloaked tank. That would be pretty funny. But I think that's probably way off. I think what we are very likely going to get in the next few days is, or rather weeks or months, is going to be racial parity, and that's not a kind of guiding principle of a modern democratic society. That is actually all of the suits for all of the races, with all of this and all of that. Just let's not mention the word vehicles because, you know, hey, we're not going to try to ruin this, are we? So we don't get our vehicles yet. So we don't get the Amarr and Minmatar dropships and tanks and etc. etc. So bit of a shame. But in terms of drop suit racial parity, that's quite a big step forward. So you're going to have the Minmatar heavy, you're going to have the Caldari heavy, the Caldari scout, the Amarr scout, and so on and so on and so on. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I think I'm intrigued to see what the Gallente heavy will look like, because that's very typical of the Eve thing. That, you know, Gallente ships are generally quite, you know, muscly, blundering kind of suits and armors and, you know, ships. So I think I would definitely be interested to see what they make that look like. It probably will look like something from Jean-Paul Gaultier's collection of probably 92. So it'll all be weird tubes and funnels and very suggestive and questionable antennae. It's going to be bizarre. You just know it is. And I think it's looking pretty cool, to be honest. So I think, you know, that's a big step forward. I would love to see maybe some snippets or a little bit of artworks, just some teasers, CCP, for the vehicles, even if it's just a completely illustrative drawing. I would just love to see it so that it whets my appetite and keeps me going for another 6 months until I get my Minmatar dropship. Or my, what is it, Amarr tank. Amarr heavy tank with a pulse laser turret, thank you very much, that'd be lovely, thank you so much. And I mean, just generally something like that would be cool. But yeah, so there we go. I think, you know, it's going to be an interesting time. You know, I always try and kind of keep my ear to the ground, and usually it's my ear in the mud, because I try and read the forums, but it's so difficult. It's so difficult just to read the forums and just see somebody who is so absolutely convinced they are right, blabbering on, and you just know that they're not right. And it's kind of embarrassing sometimes. So yeah, some of the posts lately have just made me want to, you know, almost kind of kick the heads off kittens almost. I wouldn't do that, obviously. I'd do it with puppies, obviously. And it's just a bit disappointing. There's still so much kind of terrible posting going on the Dust forums. But hey, what can you do? I think it's become that kind of place. So there we go. I mean, interesting one. Is fun running Nova Knives again. Nova Knives are pretty easy, actually. And I don't mean that in a kind of sweeping, I'm bloody good, because I'm not. But I actually quite liked the whole Nova Knifing experience, to be honest. It was actually quite fun and straightforward. It's probably the right way to put it. I wouldn't say it's easy to always land your hits, but my God, you know, it was good to get the kills. It's nice to have a few kills with the flaylock again. I think, you know, as joking aside goes, it is a shame that gun's a complete pile of shite now. It would be nice to see that gun being just slightly better, but no, it's not a buff the flaylock campaign. I don't think I'll ever be back to what it was in the glory days, and probably rightfully so, because it was broken as balls. So anyway, there we go. So 1.8 is coming soon. I think certainly what we're going to look forward to is racial parity, that guiding vision of racial parity, and I think hopefully that will soon extend into you know, tanks and dropships and LAVs and many things. I mean, what about the MAV? So what about that? Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.